How's it going, everybody? Welcome to We Do Tech, and also to another tech news video where I go over all of the tech news that happened in like the last 24 hours, because it's kind of a daily thing now. So hope you guys enjoy these. But anyway, as for the tech news, we got some new features from YouTube which could make buying stuff pretty cool and easier. We have some Nvidia RTX Super news, and then also loot boxes and Harry Potter. I don't really care that much about Harry Potter, but it could be a thing, I don't know. But yeah, let's get into that. So starting off with our first topic, we have some news on Nvidia's new super cards. Now, nothing is officially released yet, there's still rumors, but rumor have it that it's either going to be announced tomorrow, that side, or it's going to be announced in the middle of July. And also, possible pricing for these cards will range between $70 to $100 more. $70 for the 2060 Super and $100 for the other two. So it will cost more, but you'll get pretty much a downscale chip of the card just above the naming scheme. So the 2060 Super is kind of using like a 2070 GPU, just downscaled a bit. They might use weaker components, or it might be a lower silicon sample. It's not necessarily the best card, but you will definitely get more performance out. Also, if you do currently go on Nvidia's website, there's no stock of any cards except the 2080 Ti, which kind of just hints to it that it's going to be released soon, and possibly also pricing will drop for the current cards. We'll have to wait and see, but that is also a possibility. Nvidia would be stupid if they don't lower the prices a bit for the other cards. But yeah, we'll kind of have to wait and see what happens there. Then for our next topic, for everybody who does own a 9th generation unlocked Intel CPU, Intel has released their one-click performance maximizer, which is just a one-click overclocking tool. It's around 1.5 gigs, pretty big, and how it works is just press a button, it'll overclock your 9th generation Intel CPU, and you'll get better performance out. Now, even though you will get better performance out, you're still going to get better performance with a manual overclock, because the one-click optimizer is just software level, it's not hardware level like on your motherboard. So voltages is going to be a lot higher. Some of the sites said that their i9 9900K like voltage up to 1.5 volts, and then it thermal throttled down because it also reached around 90 degrees. Now, I would have wanted to try it out, but unfortunately I don't have a 9th generation Intel unlocked CPU. I only have an 8700K, so unfortunately I can't actually test it myself or make a video on it. But you guys, if you do have that, you can try it out. Then for our next topic, we have some news from EA and Epic Games about loot box gambling, because they met up with the UK Digital Culture, Media and Sports Committee, where they discussed gambling stuff. So apparently EA actually called their gambling or loot box systems, they don't like to call it loot boxes, they call it surprise mechanics, which is just a pretty nice way to say gambling. However, the committee didn't really find EA funny, because they also compared their entire setup to Kinder Joy. So you guys know that sweet that you get like a surprise in. They compare it like to stuff like that. And yeah, they didn't find it very funny, because even though it's still a gamble of what you get inside, at least it's nothing that you pay a crazy amount for, and then you either get something really good or absolutely not good. There's a different word for that. But no deciding factor yet. It's not banned yet. There's still going to be a lot of stuff being discussed, and if it's actually going to happen. And this is also only in the UK and not in like the US or the rest of the world. But now, as for Epic Games, the committee asked them if they had any sort of tool or measurement to counter game addiction. And pretty much Epic Games just said, we don't have a mechanism in a place that automatically sets limits on that. I don't think it's our responsibility to determine how much players should play Fortnite, which I think is correct. So just imagine you're playing the game, and then all of a sudden you're about to win the match and it cuts you out, and it's like, no, you played too much Fortnite, go play outside. Go get some fresh air, play in the trees and the ground and stuff. Build some mud pies or something. So yeah, that's kind of a bit stupid. The entire gaming addiction thing, yeah, so that's also a thing that could possibly be forced into games where you can't play the game for more than like 4 hours or whatever. So we'll kind of have to see what happens. But luckily that's in the UK. South Africa, we don't care about that. And the US, I also don't think they really care. So then moving on, we have some more China versus US versus Huawei ban, because that's still quite a big issue that's going on, and now a lot of other companies is jumping in as well. So last month, Intel, Xilinx and Qualcomm made up with the US government to discuss the impact of not only the ban of Huawei, but also the entire $300 billion Chinese tariffs on a tech in China. And now we're seeing that Dell, HP and Microsoft is joining in on that, well, saying how much it will affect not only American companies that need all of the tech coming out from China, but also how it's going to affect the people. Now, some of the firms are disputing that using Huawei's tech in 5G networks could possibly threaten national security, but now they argue that it's not going to be smartphones or servers that actually pose a risk to the national security, because they use a very common available parts. It's only the network side of Huawei's 5G that might possibly be the issue. Reuters notes also state that around the $70 billion Huawei spent on purchasing components in 2018, $11 billion from that was from US firms. And one of those companies, Broadcom, warned that this ban would cost them over $2 billion in sales. And that's only one of the companies. Now, if this ban is going to take effect, then prices for laptops, tablets and phones is going to rise quite a bit. And I'm not sure if it's going to be for everybody even outside the US, or it's only going to be for the US. But yeah, it's going to be quite more expensive. Some reports state that phones which are imported from China will increase by 22%. Overall, US phones will increase by 14%, which is around like $70 per phone. Laptops and tablets will increase at around 21%, which is $120 increase for laptops, and around $50 for tablets. And same goes for video game consoles and drones, increasing around 20%. And because of that, we might see that a lot of companies move their manufacturing processes to like South Korea or Vietnam. However, the problem with that is that because China has manufactured so much, to move everything over to those two countries, they're not going to be able to handle everything, and they still need to like train all of their staff and everybody to build the tech. Whereas in China, it's already settled. You don't have to worry. But now I'm also kind of a bit curious, being that like Computex is in Taiwan, and I've gone there now a few times, and they don't see themselves as part of China, but China sees them part of China. So I'm wondering if Taiwan also falls under the US-China ban. Does the US see Taiwan as China, or is it Taiwan? So because there's a lot of companies like MSI and Gigabyte and so on that manufactures a lot of their stuff in Taiwan, and that might not cause some of the parts to go up, which will be cool. But yeah, we'll kind of have to wait and see. Otherwise, Taiwan might even see a really big increase in manufacturing processing there. I believe the final result for the ban is next month, or it's one of the deadlines. So we'll find out more around then. But there's definitely going to be a lot more stuff coming out, both for Huawei and pretty much the China and US war. And then finally, even though I am probably the most attractive guy on this entire platform, I still don't understand how makeup videos are so damn big. It's so big that cat videos don't even stand a chance. And because of that, YouTube is adding a new feature where you'll be able to try out new products virtually. So how it works is that it uses AR, with augmented reality, you know, like the filters you get with the iPhone and Samsung and so on. It kind of uses that, but you'll be able to try out the different makeup through your phone. Now, it's currently, I believe, only on iPhone, and it's very limited. It's not fully out yet, and it's also on very limited products. So you'll be able to try out like lipstick and try different colors and so on and see how it looks on you before actually buying it. And it looks to do really well. So around 30% of people who see this try it out, and then they spend around 80 seconds trying out the different makeup colors and different makeup. I don't know anything about makeup, so don't ask me. So anyway, it looks like this might be a new feature that YouTube is going to add, of course, to get more sales and more view time on their videos. But it's a really cool marketing feature that they're going to implement, which not only can support the creator, because the people is going to interact more on the video, and then also possibly buy the stuff through them, so they'll be able to make more money, which is why YouTube exists. It's not to watch cat videos, it's to make money. That is the makeup side, where they're first probably going to implement it. It's not going to be for a lot of other stuff yet, but possibly for clothes. If there's somebody who bought clothes and they're trying out different clothes, I don't know how that also works. I'm not into fashion, but you'll be able to maybe try it out. If you're in front of a mirror, you'll be able to point your camera there and it'll show on you. That's a possibility. Or even maybe like tech stuff. If you want to buy a new laptop or you want to buy a mug, then you can use your camera, which I don't have in my hand. You can use your phone and then you'll actually able to see the mug. It's a stupid example, but let's also say like toys and Legos, for example. Like Ryan's tech reviews, he's massive, where you can use the mobile app and then you can actually AR project the toy that he's reviewing onto like your table and see it yourself. That might actually be really cool. And again, for tech, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work for tech. Maybe for like headphones or a mouse or keyboard or a PC. I'm not exactly sure the implementation for tech products, but for clothes, for fashion, and maybe toys, it might be really big. So that is it. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this AR implementation YouTube is going to add? Think it's cool? Are you into fashion? I'm not, so let me know. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will check all of you next time. Cheers, guys.